Hi, my dear ones. How are you? Sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm here with a new story for you. The story of Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a great forest. By the forest, there was a small house, and in the house lived a man and a woman and a little daughter. One day, the woman, who was an extremely handy seamstress, made her daughter a beautiful scarlet cloak and hood. The girl loved the cloak. She wore it so often that from that day forward she became known as Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood, said the mother, would you be so kind as to take some fresh butter, newly laid eggs, and a fruit cake to your grandma? I would be delighted to, mother, said Little Red Riding Hood. But it has been such a very long time since I have seen Grandmamma. I fear that I will not recall where she lives or even what she looks like. My dear, replied the mother, once you get going, you will be sure to remember the way. Little Red Riding Hood set off into the heart of the forest. She carried a wicker basket lined with a red and white gingham cloth filled with her grandmother's goodies. She sang softly as she hopped along the forest path and watched the world go by. A beastie wolf heard Little Red Riding Hood's sweet song. The wolf was a nasty, greedy creature, and it longed for nothing more than to gobble Little Red Riding Hood for his breakfast. But he daren't. You see, a woodman was walking close by with his dog. The dog was so vicious that the wolf was terrified of it. So, instead of pouncing and risking a commotion, the wolf crept up to Little Red Riding Hood very gently and said, Hello, Little Red Riding Hood, to where are you going this fine morning? To see my grandmamma, she said, and take her the gifts from my basket, butter, eggs, and cake. Where does your grandmamma live? Asked the wolf. In the heart of the forest, she replied. Ah, yes, I know that house, said the wolf in a long, gruff voice. But I must be off now. I bid you farewell, little girl. Do take good care of yourself out here. The forest can be a mighty dangerous place for little girls to be all alone. Before Little Red Riding Hood had time to reply, the wolf was gone. Little Red Riding Hood was in no hurry. She left the forest and could happily play there along for hours. She followed a butterfly. She watched a squirrel crack upon a nut. She saw a rabbit hop through the ferns and a bee collect nectar from the wild flowers. She even bumped into a woodman cutting logs. Where are you going all alone, Little Red Riding Hood? Said the woodman. I am going to see my grandmamma, she said, but I must hurry along now or I will be late. While Little Red Riding Hood was playing, the nasty wolf ran as fast as he could to the heart of the forest and found her grandmother's house. The grandmother lived alone. She was dreadfully weak and rarely rose from her bed. And as it happened, she was in her bed this very day. The wolf crept up the front door. Tap, tap, tap. Who is there? Asked the old lady. Little Red Riding Hood, Grandmamma, said the wolf, putting on a child's voice. Come in, my dear, said the old lady. Pull the string and the latch will lift up. The wolf went inside. You can imagine the old lady's shock as the sight of the wolf standing in front of her. She froze in fear, and moments later the wolf, who was a little hungry from his run through the forest, gobbled her up for his breakfast. But the wolf was not satisfied. He wondered what it would be like to have a taste of sweet Little Red Riding Hood. So he put on the old lady's nightgown and cap. got into the bed and waited for a tap at the door. An hour passed. Little Red Riding Hood then reached the house. Tap, tap, tap. Come in, said the wolf, trying hard to sound as much like the old lady as possible. Pull the string and the hatch will lift up, Little Red Riding Hood thought to herself. I don't remember Grandmama's voice sounding so gruff. But she went in and saw her grandmother lying in bed just as she was expecting. Grandmama, said Little Red Riding Hood, Mother has sent me with butter and eggs and cake for you. Oh, you are kind, said Wolf. Come here and let me kiss you. Little Red Riding Hood, who remembered had not seen her grandmother for some considerable time, approached the bed. Grandmama, she said, what a great nose you have. All the better to smell you with, my dear, said the wolf. And Grandmama, what large ears you have. All the better to hear you with, my dear, said the wolf. And what large eyes you have. All the better to see you with, my dear, said the wolf. The wolf was now getting impatient. Her lip curled up slightly, revealing a huge set of gigantic sharp teeth. Oh, my Grandmama, and what great teeth you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. All the better to eat you with, growled the wolf. He could wait no longer and pounced out of bed towards Little Red Riding Hood. At the exact moment, the door flew open with a bang. The woodman's vicious dog ran in and jumped on top of the wolf. The wolf made a whimpering sound as he fell backward onto the floor. Seconds later, the woodman dashed in, wielded his tremendous axe high above his head, and brought it down with a thud, chopping the wolf's head clean off in a single blow. Oh, thank you, kind woodman, cried Little Red Riding Hood. How on earth did you know the wolf was here and that I was in danger? Well, said the woodman, I had seen a nasty wolf lurking in the forest recently. When we met earlier, I wanted to make sure you were safe. So I followed you. My dog caught scent of the wolf when he approached the house and we rushed in to save you. 1,000 thanks you again, dear woodman, said Little Red Riding Hood. Woodman walked Little Red Riding Hood home and explained the nasty happening to her parents. They were eternally grateful to the woodman and his great dog for saving the precious Little Red Riding Hood from the wolf. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you once again. Keep listening